Hey there YouTube, it's Gundid73 making another episode of Knife Talk, and I'll be talking about fit and finish in this episode. Now, most people, one thing they'd like their knives to have is good fit and finish. What is fit and finish? To me, it's basically how the knife is put together, how well it's put together, and the small nuances, that you really have to be into knives to notice or really care about. At the end of the day, if the knife opens up smoothly and locks up tight, and the heat treat on the blade is done correctly, then fit and finish, it really isn't that big of a deal, from a functionality point of view. I mean, you can have a knife, if a knife has poor fit and finish, but it locks up tight and can still cut and has good heat treat in the blade, then really, it's not that big of a deal. Like an example of knives that are like that would be Emerson's and Strider's. I mean, their fit and finish isn't poor. I mean, I've handled both and seen both in person, and they're not as bad as people on the forum say they are. I mean, they're definitely a bit looser build, so to speak, but they're not poor by any means. I mean, they're still very high quality knives. But these knives here, I mean, small things like blade centering. You can see on this Paramilitary 2, hopefully, that the blade is off center. Now, to me, this isn't a big of a deal. As long as the blade isn't touching either side of the handle, to me, it's not that big of a deal. But this Military, from the same company, came, let's see if I can focus that. It's pretty much dead center, So very nice. Other things that you want to look for fit and finish besides the blade centering is just how much room is between the blade and the handles and the washers and stuff. So like on this Sebenza with, its impeccable fit and finish, you can see that there's really not a whole lot of room at all, really. It's very tight. And just how much room is between the blade and the scales. I mean, up here it's virtually, like, you can barely see any space at all, I mean, this knife is very well put together, and it took a lot of effort and time and expense to make it to that level. Whereas this Kershaw Junkyard Dog, which is a bit harder to see, but you can just see the, let's see if I can get this to focus. In real life it's very easy to tell, but the lighting here may not be cooperating. But you can easily just see how thick the washes are. Now, one thing that I've heard is that if you want to make a knife that's cheaper seem to have better fit and finish, you make the washers thicker. Washer thickness is an easy giveaway to how the fit and finish on the knife actually is. The thinner the washers, the better the fit and finish. If you have really thick washers, that means that they're not taking the time to make the knife to high tolerances. Is that bad though? I mean, not really. I mean, I think people just get way too worked up over it, I mean, honestly, something like this Military, it has pretty much zero room between the washers and the handles and the blade. It's very hard to tell. It opens up smooth, locks up tight. I mean, tight lockup from the day I got it to right now, and easy deployment. It's a great knife. I mean, you don't need to pay a lot of money to get great fit and finish, but the really impeccable fit and finish is what you're going to be paying for. Other small things are, if you look at this Military, you can see the tang is ramped. It's cut at an angle so that the liner it runs into more steel as it were to go later in the lockup. Now that's a nice thing to look for on a knife. Something like the Sebenza, its ramp is very hard to detect. And since this thing is made to such high tolerance, Chris Reeve has said that if that lock face is cut at any different angle, like a 5,000th of an inch different, the lockup is affected adversely. So, I mean, the problem with fit and finish when you get to this really high level, I mean, microscopic little bits of space really do make a huge difference. So, I'm not sure what else to talk about. I mean, the main thing for fit and finish is if you're really into knives and you care that the difference is there, then it's sort of a topic that you're going to pay more attention to. if you're just going to use your knife as a tool, I mean, really, it's not that big of a deal, you know, at least in my opinion. I'd say just use your knife and be happy with it, but there are people who really do care about fit and finish. So, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate the views, and requests are welcome. See you in the next video. Bye.